Hello and welcome to this week's episode of the Sports File here on Cogeco TV. I'm your host, Samantha McFadden. Each week, we will be giving you an inside look into the Sarnia-Lambton sports scene, and this week we begin inside the barn with the Canadian Cowgirls. The team was first established in 2002 and are an elite rodeo-style drill team. The girls travel across North America to wow crowds with their musical performances and precision riding with dangerous but stunning maneuvers. I headed out to the barn to talk with a local member of the Canadian Cowgirls ground crew. A separated shoulder is an injury to the ligaments that hold your collarbone to the shoulder blade. The injury is very painful, however treatable with proper aid. The Sarnia Chiropractic and Performance Center takes us through the injury and a treatment plan. Austin Watling was first introduced to the sport of motocross at a young age and has worked hard to stay competitive in the sport. The 17-year-old Corona native recently turned pro and is as focused as any rider on the track. Hello and welcome to Season 2 of the Sports File here on Cogeco TV. I'm your host, Samantha McFadden. Each week, we will be giving you an inside look into the Sarnia-Lambton sports scene, and this week we begin out on the water. Breast cancer will affect 1 in 9 Canadian women throughout their lifetime. The Breast Buddies Dragon Boat team knows exactly how this disease can impact someone's life. A boat full of survivors, these women have formed a sisterhood and prove there is life after cancer.
The team got started in 2001 and it came about by Don Verhage, who was with a dragon boat team at the Chatham Canoe Club. He approached the breast cancer support group in Wallaceburg because he had heard about these breast cancer survivor teams, and so he approached them to see if they were interested in forming one. And they didn't have enough people down there, so at the time I was running a support group for breast cancer survivors in Sarnia here, so they approached our team to see if we would like to go together with them. And so that's how we got our beginning. And we went, but because Don was in Wallaceburg and he had a boat we could use, it wasn't a dragon boat at that time. We called it the Big Tin Tub, and it was a big bulky barge type thing, but we got our start there, and so we've been running ever since.
After moving to the Sarnia community, Susan Hamill wanted to continue her life after cancer and knew the impact dragon boat racing had on survivors. Susan continues her journey as she paddles through it with the Breast Buddies. Hello and welcome to this week's episode of the Sports File here on Cogeco TV. I'm your host, Samantha McFadden. Each week, we will be giving you an inside look into the Sarnia-Lambton sports scene, and this week we begin out on the track. Arena cross is one style of motocross racing that consists essentially of supercross-style courses that are downsized even further to fit into hockey arenas and basketball stadiums. The Canadian Arena Cross event is the only series of motocross racing that is held during the off-season. I headed out to the track to take a closer look at Arena Cross. A lot of work is put into the Canadian Cowgirls routine, both on and off the horse. Both the riders and the ground crew have to ensure the performance goes on without a hitch. I talked to another member of the ground crew about how she first got involved with the Canadian Cowgirls and her role as part of the team. People packed the gallery on the bay Tuesday to celebrate the launch of Stephen Brunt's new book, All the Way, My Life on Ice. Brunt is a Hamilton-born writer who has worked at the Globe and Mail since 1982 and in 2011 signed exclusively to work at Sportsnet. Over the years, Brunt has authored several other successful books, including Gretzky's Tears and the #1 Canadian bestseller, Searching for Bobby Orr. His new book tells the story of NHL All-Star Jordan Tootoo and his journey from Nunavut to the National Hockey League. Brunt says it was extremely important to tell Tootoo's story to help open the eyes of many, not only the people from the north where Jordan is from, but everyone who's battled with alcoholism.
You know, I think that what he's done is open the door and show people things that normally are private, that he's been very, very honest. He's an extraordinarily honest guy. And I think by doing that, there are a lot of people who are going to read this and say, that's me, or that's my life, or, you know, if he got through this, I can get through it. And I know that's important to him, and it's important to me as well, obviously, as his collaborator. It's terrific to think that a book might be more than just entertainment.
Those in attendance were happy to support a local author.
Stephen Brunt is from Hamilton, well known. He writes a lot of good books. I see him on with Bob McCowan all the time on television. So I want to come out, support a good writer, make sure we do support our writers, make sure we look after our authors, especially the good ones that are looking after us.
The book is available on Amazon.ca, Indigo.ca, and in any Kohl's or Chapter stores. For Ignite Sports, I'm Sam McFadden.